Most people measure success by the size of the office they're given. Corner desk, glass walls, a view over the city. But at a certain level of power, the equation changes. You don't compete for the best office in the building. You remove the idea of offices entirely, because the building itself belongs to you. High above the pulse of the city stands a tower that doesn't advertise its purpose. No corporate logos stretching across the facade. No directory in the lobby listing tenants and floors. From the outside, it appears quiet, composed, controlled. But this tower isn't a workplace. It's a private, vertical kingdom. Every level below functions like the infrastructure of influence. Private security floors, executive suites, negotiation lounges, discreet meeting spaces where deals worth billions quietly reshape markets. Yet none of that is the true center of gravity. The real command point sits where very few people will ever stand. At the top, where the elevator doors open into something the modern world almost forgot how to design. A residence built for someone who doesn't leave work behind. Because work, power, and life all operate from the same altitude. Welcome to the CEO Tower Residence. A private penthouse compound occupying the crown of a dedicated executive tower. A place where the concept of commuting disappears. Where the skyline becomes both your view and your territory. And where the idea of going to the office feels like a relic from another era. The journey to the top doesn't begin with a crowded lobby or security lines. It begins with a private arrival court hidden behind architectural walls of dark stone and vertical glass. No traffic noise. No pedestrians stopping for photos. Only a silent driveway designed for people who value discretion above spectacle. From there, a biometric access corridor leads to the private elevator system. An elevator not shared with tenants, employees, or visitors. This one answers to exactly one residence. The ride upward feels different from a typical skyscraper ascent. The interior isn't reflective chrome and corporate lighting. Instead, the elevator is wrapped in matte walnut panels, brushed brass lines, and ambient lighting that slowly shifts as the altitude climbs. 40 floors. 60 floors. 80 floors. The city falls away beneath you like a living map. Traffic lines become streams of light. The geometry of streets dissolves into patterns. Towers that once felt massive shrink into silhouettes. And then the elevator slows. The doors open. Not into a hallway. Into a living room. Because at this level, there's no separation between residence and command center. The entrance space is vast but controlled, designed like the lobby of a private museum. 20-foot ceilings. Stone floors cut from a single slab. Walls lined with sculptural shelving where art replaces decoration. Straight ahead, the skyline appears like a cinematic wall of glass stretching from floor to ceiling. This is the first moment the residence reveals its philosophy. Height is power. Perspective is power. Distance creates clarity. From here, the entire city becomes visible. Financial districts, waterfronts, highways, bridges, neighborhoods that stretch toward the horizon. Somewhere down there, millions of people are waking up, commuting, negotiating, building companies, competing for space. Up here, the rules feel different. Because the person living in this residence doesn't travel to a workplace. The workplace exists below them. To the left of the living room, the architecture opens into the first defining feature of the tower residence, the skyline office. Unlike traditional home offices tucked into quiet corners, this one occupies the entire east-facing edge of the building. A curved wall of glass frames the sunrise over the city every morning, flooding the space with natural light that turns the room into something closer to an observation deck than a desk environment. But the furniture tells a different story. A single executive desk carved from dark stone sits at the center, positioned so the city unfolds directly in front of it. Behind it, a library wall rises 12 feet high, filled not with decoration but with carefully selected volumes, economics, architecture, technology, history, strategy. The tools of someone who thinks in decades instead of quarters. Because this room isn't built for answering emails. It's built for decisions. Decisions that ripple through industries, companies, and markets. And when those decisions require conversation, negotiation, or confrontation, the residence has something even more powerful waiting just beyond the office doors. A room rarely found inside a home. A private boardroom suspended in the sky. But that space reveals itself slowly. Because architecture like this doesn't show its full hand at once. First, it establishes dominance. Then it reveals where power truly operates. And in the next part of this tower residence, the line between home and headquarters completely disappears. The line between living space and corporate command center disappears the moment you step past the office. A quiet corridor stretches forward, lined with textured stone walls and recessed lighting that glows like a runway guiding you deeper into the residence. No artwork. No distractions. Just a deliberate sense of anticipation. At the end of the corridor, a pair of 12-foot pivot doors slowly reveal the most defining space inside the entire tower. The private boardroom. Not a meeting room. A boardroom designed with the same gravity as those found in the headquarters of the world's largest corporations, except this one sits inside a private residence nearly 100 floors above the city. The room is circular. A deliberate architectural choice. Because power dynamics change when there is no head of the table. In the center sits a monolithic conference table carved from a single slab of black marble nearly 20 feet long. Its polished surface reflects the city lights like a dark mirror. 12 chairs surround it. Handcrafted leather. Minimalist steel frames. Designed for conversations that shape companies, mergers, and global partnerships. But the real centerpiece isn't the table. It's the glass. Floor-to-ceiling windows wrap around the entire room, creating a 360-degree skyline panorama. From here, the city doesn't feel like an environment. It feels like a system. Financial districts glowing with late-night activity. Ports moving silent cargo ships across dark water. Highways pulsing with light as millions of people move through the machine of the metropolis. Every decision made inside this room has the potential to influence that machine. Because the people invited here aren't casual guests. They're founders, investors, government advisors, industry architects. When they enter this boardroom, they don't feel like they've arrived at someone's home. They feel like they've stepped into the command center of a private empire. Technology disappears into the architecture. Ultra-thin screens rise silently from the table when needed, transforming the room into a data environment where financial projections, satellite maps, and architectural models can be displayed instantly. But when the screens retract, the room returns to its most powerful feature. Silence. No office noise. No phones ringing. No distractions. Just the city below. And the people deciding what happens next. Because the philosophy of the CEO Tower residence is simple. Work should never feel like something separate from life. For the kind of person this residence is built for, strategy isn't something that switches off at 5 p.m. It flows through every hour of the day. That's why the architecture surrounding the boardroom transitions naturally into spaces designed for the quieter side of influence. Just beyond the conference room sits the negotiation lounge. Low ceilings, dim lighting, soft leather seating arranged around a circular fire feature built directly into a stone table. Deals that begin formally in the boardroom often end here. Because once the presentations stop and the numbers settle, real agreements tend to happen in environments that feel human. A glass wall slides open to reveal a narrow terrace suspended above the skyline. The wind moves differently at this altitude. Cooler, cleaner. From this terrace, the city feels almost silent. And that silence is intentional. When leaders step outside during negotiations, the height changes their perception. Problems feel smaller. Possibilities feel larger. It's one of the oldest tricks in architecture. Perspective influences decision-making. And this residence was designed by people who understand that power is rarely just about money. It's about environment. The places where conversations happen. The settings where trust forms. The altitude where ideas become inevitable. As the evening moves deeper into night, the residence begins shifting back toward its other identity. Because while this tower can operate like a corporate headquarters, it was still designed to be a home. Past the boardroom wing, a quiet staircase begins to spiral upward. Not to another floor, but to something more private. The upper residential level, a sanctuary floating above the command center below. A place where even the most powerful people in the world can step away from negotiations, markets, and strategy, and remember what it feels like to simply exist above it all. But the final level of the CEO Tower residence holds its most extraordinary spaces yet. Spaces where architecture stops being about power and becomes something closer to legacy. The staircase leading upward from the boardroom level doesn't feel corporate. The atmosphere changes the moment you begin climbing. The materials soften. The lighting becomes warmer. The geometry becomes calmer. Because the level above isn't designed for negotiations or strategy. It's designed for something far rarer in the lives of people who operate at the highest levels of power. Stillness. When the staircase opens onto the upper level of the residence, the first thing you notice is the silence. Not the absence of sound, but the absence of urgency. This floor exists entirely for private life. A sanctuary floating above the machinery of influence below. The architecture opens into a massive sky lounge, a space that stretches across the western face of the tower. Floor-to-ceiling glass panels frame the horizon, where the sun slowly descends behind distant mountains and the city transforms from steel and concrete into a constellation of light. At this altitude, sunsets don't feel like daily events. They feel ceremonial. A long sculptural sofa sits in the center of the room, facing outward toward the skyline rather than inward toward a television or wall. Because here, the view is the entertainment. Airplanes drift across the orange sky far below eye level. Bridges begin to glow with traffic lines. Entire districts of the city slowly illuminate like circuitry coming online. For most people, the skyline is something they visit. For the resident of this tower, it's simply the background of everyday life. Behind the sky lounge, hidden sliding panels reveal the private residential wing. The hallway leading inside feels almost gallery-like. Soft indirect lighting washes across textured plaster walls, while the floor transitions from stone to warm oak. The first room is the master suite. But calling it a bedroom almost feels like an understatement. The space spans nearly the entire north side of the tower, designed so the bed faces a massive corner window that frames two different sections of the city simultaneously. One side reveals the financial district, towers standing like illuminated monuments to ambition. The other side opens toward the river and distant suburbs, where the lights thin out and the horizon stretches endlessly. This duality was intentional. One view represents the engine of wealth. The other represents freedom from it. The bed itself sits on a raised platform, wrapped in natural fabrics and neutral tones designed to create an atmosphere closer to a luxury retreat than an executive residence. Because the philosophy of this level is simple. If you operate at the center of global decision-making, your private space must feel like the opposite of pressure. Just beyond the sleeping area, glass doors slide open into the sky bathroom. A freestanding stone bathtub sits directly against the glass wall, allowing the resident to look out over the city while soaking nearly 400 meters above it. The shower is enclosed in frameless glass with rainfall fixtures embedded into the ceiling. Everything here is minimal. Nothing unnecessary. Because luxury at this altitude isn't about decoration. It's about experience. Next to the master suite lies another unexpected feature of the tower residence, the Sky Wellness Deck. A glass-enclosed gym overlooks the skyline, equipped with precision fitness machines designed for someone whose schedule doesn't allow traditional routines. Morning workouts here happen with the sunrise flooding the room in gold light. But the wellness deck goes further. A private sauna sits beside a cold plunge pool carved into dark stone, allowing the resident to shift instantly between heat and ice while staring out across the endless city below. It's the kind of space designed not for indulgence, but for recovery. Because the kind of mind that operates billion-dollar strategies needs moments of physical reset. And then, finally, the residence reveals its most dramatic space of all. A door at the far end of the wellness deck slides open to reveal a staircase leading upward one last time. But this staircase doesn't lead inside the tower. It leads above it. At the top sits the sky-crowned terrace, an open-air rooftop garden floating at the absolute highest point of the building. Glass wind barriers wrap around the perimeter, creating a calm environment even at extreme altitude. A long reflecting pool mirrors the skyline at night, doubling the lights of the city in its dark surface. Minimalist lounge seating surrounds a central fire feature, where flames flicker against the endless ocean of buildings below. From here, the perspective becomes almost surreal. Helicopters occasionally pass at eye level. Clouds drift slowly overhead, and the city spreads in every direction like a living organism. This is the place where the resident of the tower comes when the day is over. After the boardroom conversations. After the negotiations. After the decisions that shape industries. Up here, there are no meetings. No presentations. No expectations. Just the quiet realization of what the tower represents. Because this residence was never about luxury alone. It was about a different philosophy of success. A philosophy where the highest level of power isn't defined by how hard you work, but by how completely you control the environment where work happens. And when you reach that level, you no longer go to the office. You live above it.